a few years ago, Haiti wanted to join the African Union. You understand? If anybody could so-called be more African, quote unquote, but they are not African, it's Haiti.
Right.
Haiti had an entire revolution, you understand, of independence to come out under the hands of the slave master. And Haiti said, we, so-called, want to join the African Union. You know what Africans say? You're not African enough.
Right.
ISUPK.
We're going to show and prove in this Bible who we are. And one of the key things that your Christian pastor tried to fool us with is to tell us that we are all Gentiles. Which is something far from the truth, black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. We are not Gentiles the way that your Christian pastor make us feel and believe that those people who are there in the land of Israel, that they are the Israelites. And we are Gentiles. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. But one thing we have to get clear and understand, that you so-called black man are not Africans. There is a difference. We are not Africans. Africans and Negroes are two different people. You black man here in the West Indies are Negroes. You understand? Who were captured in the land of Africa because we ran from Israel into Africa, and the native Africans captured us, sold us to the white man, and that's how we came across here. But the white man lumped us together for us to be confused, for us to believe that we are Africans.
Right.
And then you're going to hear the historian say, Africans sell Africans, which is not true. The Africans did not sell their own people. They sold those who came into the land and looked like them. Case in point, most of us know the history and the story of baby Jesus. When Herod wanted to kill baby Jesus, right? So we know Christ was born and Herod wanted to kill all the firstborn babies. You understand? Now, when that happened now, the scriptures come to the point where they said Mary and Joseph, they had to go and hide in Egypt. You understand? Now, let's make sense out of the nonsense that they talk. Now, we know the Egyptians are so-called black, right? So-called dark-skinned people. That is a fact. The Egyptians are dark-skinned people. Now, if Jesus Christ was hiding from Herod, could a white baby hide in Africa?
Right.
Could a white baby hide in Egypt?
Right.
Picture it. If Herod killed everything under the sun, you understand? He want to find this baby Jesus, who the so-called oppressor say is white. You understand? And he going to hide in Africa. You don't think it could be easy to find? So this so-called Caucasian baby hiding between some black Africans, it's not hard to find. So then when you put the sense into it, you're going to realize something is not up here. You're going to realize that the lies start to unravel. But what we don't understand, just like I'll give you context, not because they're dark skinned, that means they're the same people.
Right.
So for instance, we have East Asians that are very dark. You understand? We have persons of East Indian descent from India that are very dark skinned. But they are not black. They are not African, to be precise. Africans are different from East Indians, despite their same complexion. Some of them are even darker than some Africans. So we have to understand that is one. Then we have to look again. We have to look at the so-called Aborigines. The Aborigines are not Africans. They are a different context, but they are also dark-skinned. But what we have to understand is that 90% of the world is dark-skinned people. Even the so-called Japanese and Chinese were natively dark-skinned people, but they are not the same race. That's what you have to understand. But the so-called white man would whitewash and make you feel that that is a common thing, and that only so-called Africans are dark-skinned people. But that is not true. You understand? The Polynesians are dark-skinned people. You understand? The so-called Arabs are dark-skinned people. We have to understand Arabs are not Africans, because they are so-called native Africans, South Africans, and different aspects. You understand? So I said this to bring it to the point where we, the so-called Israelites, so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called native Indian man, woman, and child, we are not Africans. Right. We are what we so-called Negroes.
Right.
You understand? So I don't know if anybody have a Zondervan pictorial Bible. Does anybody have one? Right? Now there's a book called the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary, which gives the definition, you understand, of who the children or the sons of Noah are. As we know, there was a great flood, and Noah and his sons went into the ark. And when the flood came, every life died on the face of the earth. And Noah and his 3 sons and their wives came back to repopulate the earth. Now, the biblical context describes that Shem, Ham, and Japheth were the ones that repopulated the earth. If you look at a map in the 1700s, you'll see a place called Negro land. Not African land,
right.
Negro land.
Right.
Because there was a distinction between the two groups. So when we look and show and prove that the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, that we are not the same group of people. Same thing. When you look at the so-called North American Indians, when you look at the real North American Indians, they are not a fair-skinned people. They were a dark-skinned, brown-skinned people.
Right.
You understand? But the so-called colonizer would come and make you feel that so-called Native Indians were light-skinned, were white. You understand? And we're going to get the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary to show in literature, to prove and show that the so-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, that we are not Africans. When an African come across here, they will tell you flat that the Negroes who are here are not their people.
Right.
They will tell you flat that they do not belong to us. They will tell you we do not subscribe to them.
Right.
Which African country come back and say, look, my brothers here, belong lost brothers, bring them back. Or they come into the country, look at free passport. Like another group, another nation of people say. None of them say, come, look, free passport and come. They will not do that.
Right.
They did not come and sympathize and say, look, our people are in slavery. The so-called oppressor has burdened and oppressed our people for so long. Come, we will fight for you. To make it some more plain, a few years ago, Haiti wanted to join the African Union. You understand? If anybody could so-called be more African, quote unquote, but they are not African, it's Haiti.
Right.
Haiti had an entire revolution, you understand, of independence to come out under the hands of the slave master. And Haiti said, we so-called want to join the African Union. You know what Africans say? You're not African enough.
Right.
How much of a slap in the face is that? But I'm glad that happened. You know why I'm glad? I'm glad so that my Haitian brothers will not get tied up with persons who bathe in cow urine.
Right.
Who bathe in cow dung.
Right.
Who put plates in their lips. Because if that is my people, I don't want to be them. My people do not put plates in their lips. My people do not perform female circumcision on their people. Because my people have laws and practices that protect women, that protect young girls, that protect young men. You understand? We are from the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And this book that's called the Bible is our constitution. And we don't practice those things. We don't do those kind of things. We don't perform things on animals that's not supposed to practice.
Right.
That is not our custom. We do not do that. And we're going to read here in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary that the historians have researched and show and prove who we are. So we're going to understand that we are not Africans. Go ahead, read.
From the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 213. Ham, the youngest son of Noah.
Ham is the youngest son of Noah. So to bring context, we have Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Those are the three sons of Noah after the flood. Go ahead.
Born probably about 96 years before the flood.
So Ham was born 96 years before the flood. Go ahead.
And one of the 8 persons to live through the flood.
And Ham was one of the sons who lived through the flood during that time where everything on the earth was destroyed by the flood. Go ahead.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
They said Ham became the progenitor. Now progenitor means the person who began, the person who gave birth to. You understand? The dark races.
Right.
So Ham or the Hamites is classified, you understand, as the dark-skinned people. Go ahead, read it over.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Go ahead.
Not the Negroes.
Not the what?
Not the Negroes.
So Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, but
not the Negroes.
But who?
But the Egyptians.
The who?
The Egyptians.
What?
The Ethiopians.
What?
Libyans.
What?
And the Canaanites.
So Ham is the progenitor of the Egyptians. So go again.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Of the dark races, listen carefully.
Not the Negroes.
But not the Negro. So the Negro is also dark, but he is not part of the Hamic lineage.
Right. But the Egyptians.
The Egyptians are Hamites.
The Ethiopians.
The Ethiopians are Hamites.
The Libyans.
The Libyans are Hamites.
And Canaanites.
And the Canaanites are Hamites. The Canaanites are what we call so-called South Africans. Right. You understand? So we see in this book here, which is a Bible dictionary, that scholars sat down and took painstaking years to research. These scholars are telling us that we, the Negroes, are not Africans.
Right.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Yeah.